All right, welcome back. This is Market Day Report. It could be the last time we see each other today, but probably not, because you're going to stick around. Top of this hour, right? 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Got the Cow Guy close. We have a lot of fun. We got great stories again today. You know, folks, there's just so much happening. I've been blessed that as soon as we started the show in January of 2022, there's been things to talk about every single day. We don't have to look very hard. The world is kind of happening around us, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, but we bring it to you. And we show you how it affects markets and your money. That's the Cow Guy Close. 1 Central, 2 Eastern. I want to see you there. We're going to have some fun. We'll get it done. But that's going to be top of the hour, 1 Central, again, 2 Eastern. And that happens in exactly 15 minutes and 10 seconds from right now. Let's take a look at these markets, though, and see what we've got going on. I'll bring up a corn board. And that looks to be a little lower here, adding to the losses as we get into the last part of the day. Last half hour, we're down 5 3/4 cents to 484.5. That's just about a half cent, quarter cent off the lows of the day. So we're putting in new lows here, maybe. We've got a 7 1/4 cent range. We're right on the bottom of it right now. That's 484.5. A tick off the lows. 5 3/4 cents lower. D's corn in Chicago. Soybeans, well, they're low. They're up by 9 cents. We're putting in with some wind beneath the wings here. Gaining some real estate. 12.95 3/4 is last there. About a penny and a quarter off the highs. That's Novi beans, 12.95 3/4, up 9 cents. That's pretty good going. How about the wheat? Wheat in Chicago down 7.5 cents. 5.79 3/4 is last there, about still 7 cents off the low. So we've got a ways to go. And we're about 8 cents off the highs, not quite 7 cents off the highs. So there you go, 7.5 cents lower. Chicago wheat, that's D's, 5.79 3/4. How about the hard red wheat in Kansas City? That's down 8 cents, 6.62 3/4. A little bit of a theme here. All these wheat prices are lower. I'll tell you that right now. Spoiler alert. 6.62 3/4 is last. That's D's hard red wheat in Kansas City, down 8 cents on the day, and we're about 5 cents from 6 cents from the lows. So there you go. That's the hard red wheat in Kansas City. And moving over to the spring wheat, Minneapolis, that's down by a dime. 7.27 3/4 is last there, about 5 cents off the lows, and 10 cents off the highs. 10 cents lower. D's spring wheat, Minneapolis, 7.27 3/4 is last there. Take a quick peek at cotton. We'll get to our next guest analyst. That's lower by 67 points to 83.06. All right, let's bring in our next guest analyst. He's the last one of the day. Batting cleanup. That's going to be Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge in Chicago. Ted, thanks for being on. All right, brother, what's top of mind to you?
You know, what a weird-looking grain board today, Scott. I mean, you've got corn and soybeans going opposite directions. Wheat is down, but I think, corn's maybe the heavier one. So, I don't know. For soybeans, the big thing is the strength in soybean meal. You have an outside reversal higher day in soybean meal. December meal now testing that high that we had for mid-June. And man, it's been just shooting higher here over the last couple of weeks. Yes, our exports have been good, but hey, crush is ramping up too. So I don't know if I really feel like there's need for that soybean meal to continue to go higher. But I'll be watching that very closely. Again, reversal higher day up at the highs. It's a really interesting thing. And corn, I don't know. We've got harvest moving along, harvest pressure. Just really not a whole lot to get excited about there. And we had the Chinese delegation in Des Moines with the ceremonial signing, which hasn't happened since 2017. And if I'm honest with you, Scott, I didn't think we were going to see that happen again, really ever. So the fact that they did it, great. But it was really talk about soybeans, not much talk about corn, little talk about sorghum. So, yeah, again, I think a couple things that are supporting the bean market that aren't really corn and wheat. But it's odd to see things just moving complete opposite directions here today.
Yeah, I mean, are the lows in, do you think, across the board or what?
See, that's the thing. You have soybeans suggesting, yeah, maybe, and you have corn saying, no.
Right, right.
I don't know which one wins, right? And I don't know. I suppose there's a world that exists where corn takes a new leg lower and soybeans doesn't, because that did happen over the last month and a half where soybeans took a new leg lower and corn didn't. So it's possible. I don't think likely. I'm wondering if the soybean deal that we're seeing today is a head fake based on what the meal is doing, maybe being a head fake.
Yeah, I mean, after Thursday and Friday last week, I was like, okay, maybe all the lows are in here, but man, it just no follow through. And I know what my dad would be saying if he was alive. He'd be saying, look, corn's trying to tell you the bushels are there. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Three Thursdays in a row we had breakouts to the upside. 3 Friday, Monday, and Tuesdays in a row we've given back most of the gains. Now we're trading below that last Thursday's low. That was the number that we needed to not close below in order to keep that buy signal intact. We've negated that buy signal every time we put it up 3 Thursdays in a row. That's problematic from a price action perspective in corn. And I think you've got some producers that have some extra bushels that they weren't accounted for.
I agree.
That might be fancy to make some sales.
I agree. A lot of piles on grounds out there right now. So, all right, stay with us. Don't move. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Ted Seifried. We're going to talk about the livestock when we come back right after this. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at the livestock, right? Our four-legged friends. We'll take a look at, let's go to live cattle first. That'll be the first one I would bring up, and it's going to be up, 40 cents in the front. That's D's. 178.77 is last. But look at that range, folks. We had over a $4 range today, and we're up 42 cents. So we've really kind of flushed out prices. What that tells me as an old market participant is that we had a lot of folks come to the market at once. We found some equilibrium, and it's pretty much unchanged on the day. I know we're a little bit better, 42 cents in the D's, but Feb's down a nickel, not a nickel, 2 cents there to 180.95. So a lot of movement, but really we've come back to pretty much unchanged. Let's take a look and see what feeders have done, and it's not dissimilar. Look at the Nove. That's got a big range of $5, right? We're 236 even right now, which is only 20 cents better on the day. That's Nove feeders. And again, we had a lot of movement, and we came back to to that equilibrium point. We're 20 cents lower in the Jan right behind it to 235.50. So interesting day, really kind of hanging around that unchanged level. Lean hogs, what do they got in store for us? Well, let's go to the D. It's up 20 cents to 66.37, but behind it, going out the deferreds, they're all lower. February's down by 80 cents to 69.40. Let's bring back in our guest analyst. We've got 90 seconds, Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge. Yeah, a lot of big range, flushed out a lot of volume there, I'm sure, and then we kind of come back to unchanged.
Yeah, I think you were saying it, right? I mean, we've had the big move. We obviously had to react to the rather bearish cattle on feed report. We saw that, yesterday in a big way, and then to start the day today. But, we're right now in the middle of the range. This is now consolidation after really big moves to the downside. The question is this a midterm consolidation before we take another leg lower while we correct the relative strength index, which in the case of feeder cattle got down into the teens? We saw on the relative strength index. That's fairly rare, Scott. That's an extreme case of being oversold. So again, is this a consolidation to fix the RSI before we take another leg lower, or are we bottoming near term? I'm leaning towards the latter, but again, we're going to have to do a lot of work to kind of put a little bottom in here in order to bounce from. So hopefully this is the beginnings of that. I still think there's some reasons to be optimistic for cattle as a whole. I mean, yes, the cattle on feed report was bearish, but we still do have a fairly tight supply.
You're right.
People are paying the money for higher priced meats for now. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see if this ends up being consolidation or a bottoming formation.
Right. Fundamentally, nothing's really changed. I mean, we'll see. You're exactly right. I totally agree with you. All right. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. Great content as usual, especially because I agree with you. Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge. Thanks for being on. We'll bring it back from Chicago to Nashville and hand it back over to you.